brighter than light. He'll give you strife. He's Todd. He's tall, he's mean. He's labeling machine. He's Todd. Rides a motorbike. He'll tell you what it's like. He's Todd. Don't know what he'll say. He'll scare the kids away. He's Todd. He's Todd.
Hey, good morning. Good afternoon. Thanks again for coming by BS with Todd. This is our 20, whatever hell episode it is. You know what? We've been doing this for almost a year now. In fact, I believe Miss Kate sent me an email saying that our 1-year anniversary is coming up. Can you believe this? So I want to appreciate the millions so far who have tuned in. And for those who don't know what BS with Todd is, and I know there's some new folks out there today, so BS with Todd is all about BS. And being the master of BS, man, I can sling it. And so not only can I sling it here at work, the best BS that I generally sling is bellied up to a bar. Now, the problem is that I've still got the belly, but all the bars are closed. So anyway, this show is all about BS. And I appreciate you tuning in. By the way, BS is Brothers Solutions. HR and legal won't let me say what I want to say, but it is what it is. And I appreciate HR and legal for showing up today. They're always on here just to support my endeavors. So thank you very much. So in the world of labelizing, all right, there's many different assets, and I come from the datacom world, low voltage, if you will, and what we generally use is what you see behind me up here, all right, and most of my episodes have been geared around electrical applications and datacom applications, and generally using a cassette system. So because I don't want to look any dumber than I actually am, which isn't hard to do, I invited a guest on today, and we're going to introduce him in a minute. But we're going to talk about a different sector of labeling. And Brother Mobile Solutions is split into two divisions, although we're one brother. And we generally, my side of the fence deals with the industrial side applications, but we also have another division that deals with direct thermal and thermal transfer. And again, here's my the roll of emergency toilet paper, which can also be used inside these printers. But again, it's a different media, if you will. And my guest today is Gene Hanchar. Now, I'm going to forewarn you about Gene. This is his first show. He's sweating a little bit in the background, and that's okay. And don't let his accent throw you off. You know, he's got that Phoenix accent. You'll tell right away. But what we're going to do is we're going to have Gene come on, and we've got some pre-recorded footage, and then Gene's going to talk a little bit about some of the applications and the attributes that has to do with this. One other thing before we go is we got giveaways coming up. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We got giveaways. And the T-shirts have been approved. The socks, pajamas, and hats I'm still working on, but we do have T-shirts. But speaking of giveaways, all right, I got a beautiful giveaway for everyone today. And as most of you know, I've recently moved up here to Ramona, California. And, you know, one of the things I'd like to give away, this is not brother related, but you know, is this beautiful, I don't know what the hell it is, but if anyone would like this giveaway, let me know. I've got a lot of them. I got tons of them. So let me know. Reach out. We'll show you my contact information in. But I've got a lot of junk, priceless treasures that I'm willing to give away. So let me know. And then stay tuned for the T-shirts. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce Mr. Gene Hanchar, hailing out of Phoenix, lovely Phoenix, Arizona. And again, Gene, I want everyone to hear your Phoenix accent. So if you would, say hi, Gene.
Hi, Gene.
Nice. You got it. Fantastic. At this particular point in time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Gene give a little intro to what he's going to show you. All right. And then we're going to wrap this up. Gene's got a little more information about some of our consumables and stuff at the end of the show here. But with that being said, Gene, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. wherever you are on here, right?
I'm here.
Yeah. Go ahead. It's all yours.
Well, thanks, Todd. Longtime listener, first-time presenter. So I appreciate the honor of being on your show. You're a legend. So hi, everybody. Again, Gene Hanchar, and I'm a account manager for Brother Mobile on the sales side. So what I want to talk to you about, and Todd and I have been talking about this, is to give you some ideas about what applications you use in both a warehouse, manufacturing, maybe shipping, receiving, and asset management, and how we have some products and solutions around that, and when you use which. So what I'd like to start with is just a little bit of an overview of before we get into the video part so you can actually see it in use. I was reading the other day that they estimate that there are 50 billion to 75 billion barcodes scanned every day. And I thought it blew me away, and maybe I actually thought that was underestimating it. But if they're scanning a barcode, the odds are there's a label there, and that's what they're scanning. So that's pretty massive. And sometimes if you are in the business, sometimes it's not as easy as you think. So hopefully this will simplify things for you a little bit about where you would use each of them. So just to set just a base level before we see the video, I think most of you will know that you either have a choice in warehouse labeling of direct thermal or thermal transfer. So let's start there. When would you use each of them? So if you're using direct thermal, really the label is going to be a short life label. A lot of times it's one use. Think of a shipping label. And typically it's not, all that exposed to the environment. It has a, short lifespan. I'd tell you less than 6 months. And the printers that use direct thermal technology are pretty simple. Now, the other option is thermal transfer. And the real difference between these two, and we'll talk about the characteristics, is thermal transfer will have a ribbon. Both printers will put heat to material to print the label. But if you need something that's stronger and lasts longer, then thermal transfer is the printer for you. So if you have any issues with it being exposed to the weather, you're exposed to humidity, exposed to the sun, thermal transfer will be the option for you. So we'll talk about some other applications, but Todd, I think we're ready to jump right into it.
Well, Gene, I appreciate your time. By the way, you look lovely this morning. I just wanted to throw that out there. So, Gene's going to show us a video, and as I mentioned, there's many different facets of labelizing, if you will. And in this particular case, Gene was lucky enough to shoot on location, and as part of the labelization process, again, we're going to show you something that not only can be used in warehouse and manufacturing, but Brother has some exciting news coming down the road as far as safety signage as well, and we'll have an episode on safety signage. But the vast majority, if not all, of safety signage does come out of the desktop machines. And again, it's a great subject for a future episode. So, Gene, I appreciate it. We're going to go ahead. We're going to show you Gene's on-location video. Stay tuned, and then we come back. We'll banter a little bit more. And then we'll close it out. So stay tuned, watch your video. It's pretty good stuff.
Hi, this is Gene Hanchar from Brother Mobile Solutions, and joining me today is Jimmy Yanakopoulos, who's my cameraman. And we're here today at American Barcode and RFID. And we're in their shipping and warehouse of their facility today in Phoenix. And what we want to show you is our line of desktop printers. And we're going to talk about which ones to use in which application. Today, we're actually filming this from a warehouse and shipping and receiving dock. And we're going to talk about our direct thermal printer, the TD4D. If you need to print out labels such as this, which is really a great printer for all around use within a facility like this. If you need something that's a little more resilient in labels, we have the thermal transfer, TD4T. And last but not least is the newest line of Brother printers, is our TJ printer or Titan series printers. All of these have different uses and applications in the warehouse, and we're going to show them to you now. So today we're going to start with the direct thermal printer. This is the Brother TD4D printer, and it's a great choice in warehouse, shipping departments, and receiving. And let me tell you a little bit about why you would want to use that printer versus, say, a thermal transfer printer. Well, if you have a label that's going to be used one time and it's not really exposed to the environment, it's not going to get wet or exposed to chemicals, it's a great choice. It's also very easy to use. Now, in terms of volume, what I would probably tell you is maybe 500 labels to up to 1,000. So 1 or 2 rolls generally a day is a good duty cycle for this printer. But instead of talking, let me show you how it prints. So one of the applications in a warehouse you may have to do is you may have to be able to print product labels. So this label itself, as you can see, in this case, I have a QR code on it, but it could be a regular barcode. And you would put this label on a box that would end up going into another box, so like a master carton. So that's a real simple way to do it. That's a 4x2 direct thermal label. Now, you might say, well, okay, Gene, I've got this in, but I want to do some 4x6s. Well, what do? Well, this is the beauty of this printer. You can flip out that roll of 4x2s. You can take a roll of 4x6s. We'll feed that in. You put it between the 2 little slots. Then the first thing you're going to do is calibrate it. And excuse me as I do this upside down. So the printer now recognizes it's a 4x6 label. So we're going to go ahead and pull up a 4x6 label. So now what we've done is we've changed out the media to 4x6. And we're going to go ahead and send that print job over to the printer. And as you can see, it's printing out 4x6 labels. So how long did that take to change out one media to another? Minute, maybe even less. So that's the TD4D economical printer, printing short-term labels that you don't need to withstand a humid or wet environment. Okay, the second printer that we're going to talk about today is the TD4T. So this was a thermal transfer printer. And if you remember, we talked about some instances where you would want to use thermal transfer labels. So as we mentioned, we're in a warehouse setting today. So if you needed to shrink wrap a pallet, you have a pallet full of boxes, but they got to go on a truck, so you'd shrink wrap that pallet. And that label could be exposed to either the sun, it could be exposed to humidity, or it could be exposed to water like rain. So you'd want something that's going to be able to do it. So this is a great printer to do that. In terms of use, I would say 1 to 2 rolls of labels a day, similar to the TD4D. And it has all the connectivity features that you would have in a normal printer. So let me show you how it works, and we can talk a little bit more about how the printer performs. So as you can see, the labels come out. They're very crisp and clean in terms of the fonts, in terms of the barcodes and the readability of those barcodes. This is a really good all-around printer when you need more durability in your labels. Well, now we're on to our third and final printer, the TJ series Titan industrial printer. So this printer was recently introduced, and one of the unique things about this printer is it's both direct thermal and thermal transfer. So we'll start by taking a quick look under the hood. Well, you see that there's a ribbon installed in it, so that tells you it's a thermal transfer printer, and you can see the 8-inch roll of media that's also installed in this printer. What do customers like about it? There's a couple of things. One is the size. It's very ergonomic. It can fit in onto your workstation. We also like the fact that it's easy to integrate and install. And really, maybe the last thing is this full screen touch display. So that display allows your operators to look very quickly at what the settings are. In terms of connections and connectivity, it has all the same features as some of our other printers have. But you know what? The proof of the printer is in the pudding. So let's show you what we've got. The Titan series industrial printer, fast printing, fantastic quality. And this printer is something that you can use if you really need thermal transfer or direct thermal printers. So Todd, we made you a special label. And it has a lot of custom features. Of course, your picture's all over it, as well as different types of codes and fonts for you, buddy. So thank you for your time today. And hopefully you learned a little bit about Brothers desktop printer line, whether it was our direct thermal printer, the TD4D, the TD4T thermal transfer, or the Titan series TJ printers. And based on your needs, we have a solution that'll work for you. So whether it's based on labels per day, the quality of the label or conditions the label will be in, or the speed that you need, we have a solution that fits your needs. But why else would you choose Brother? Well, you can customize these labels and put logos and images on them. And that's very valuable for you and your customers to get your name and your brand out. Second, they all come with a 2-year limited premier warranty right out of the box, ready to go. And the third thing is if you're an IT director or if you're an operations manager, every dollar in your budget matters. Every minute your operators are on the floor matters. And every barcode has to be readable, and that matters. So what are you waiting for? Now's the time. Compare your Brother mobile printers and see what they can do in your environment for your business.
Gene, easy on the coffee, all right? Easy on the coffee. So
keeps me going.
Gene, the labeling machine. So Gene's right. What are you waiting for? What I want to do now is, Gene, if you could spend a couple of minutes, talk about some of the different types of media and applications that you would recommend for our thermal transfer and direct thermal, please.
Sure, will do. So you saw a little bit in the videos about why you would use them in a typical warehouse setting, whether it's direct thermal or thermal transfer. But let's say you have a thermal transfer printer and you printed off some labels and you find later that they are peeling or they're not staying on or they're getting some abrasion to them and, they don't look very good after a short amount of time. I have a customer and he was up in the Northwest and they have a warehouse. They're actually a sawmill down in Georgia, and all of their labels were falling off because they were using paper labels. So he asked me, he goes, what can we do? So when thermal transfer paper isn't enough, there's other materials. And this is a 2x1 label, and I've got a roll here of 3x1 labels that are polypropylene. So polypropylene is really good about withstanding humidity, withstanding moisture, and withstanding sunlight. So you'll have to match that with a ribbon. So we can help you with that if you need to do that. But that is really a good choice where you have to, you want those labels to last longer. Now, if that doesn't work, the third option is you move up the scale from direct thermal, thermal transfer, polypropylene is polyester. And polyester is very durable. I mean, these labels can last 5 years or more. We see them a lot in manufacturing where they want to track assets, maybe totes within a manufacturing environment. So there's a lot of applications there. They can actually put it, if you've ever seen on the back, even of our printers, a serial number or a UL certification label. Those typically are polyester labels, and they do that. Now, what I'm going to tell you is, okay, how do you decide? And there's two things I'm going to tell you. One is you got to ask questions about what you're trying to accomplish, what your environment's like, and what do you need that label to do? And then second, the reality is you got to test. You got to test it again and again and again and try different materials. On one hand, you don't want to go get a polyester label with a resin ribbon and pay for something you may or may not need when we could have gone polypropylene and another grade level of ribbon. So it's really up to you about how you want to do it. But my feedback to you would be test it. Ask your Brother rep for help. We've got resources internally that can help you decide. We've seen some incredibly crazy use cases where customers are trying to label different things in different environments, and everyone is unique and different. So definitely don't be afraid to ask us. The one last thing I'll say on the polyester, polypropylene is some of the questions you'll ask is, what is the environment like when they're going to apply the label? And then versus where are they going to store the label? So one example is freezer storage. Well, you can apply a label at up to 50 degrees or below to the minimum of 50 degrees, but it'll go into a freezer and it can stay there at 0 degrees or less. So remember the application and remember what the service temperatures are, whether it's abrasion, and we've talked about the environment, and then how long you need that label to last. So that's, in summary, that's it. That's just a quick overview, and hopefully that gives you some ideas of what we can do. And again, what are you waiting for? Ask, and we'd be happy to help you.
What are you waiting for? Man, I like that, Gene. I like that. What are you waiting for? So, from the label side of the fence, and again, it encompasses lots of different types of labels. My forte is again this type of industrial application with the machines behind me. Gene is our resident expert. Again, he's out of Phoenix, Arizona. One of the things, and towards the end of this, we're going to give you Gene's contact information, but you can reach out to really anybody here. And at some point, Gene, you may be, we may be side by side, and I don't know if that's a good thing for you. But again,
it'll be interesting, for sure.
yeah, you're a wild man, Gene. You're a wild, crazy guy.
Living the dream.
Yeah. So with that being said, is that whether it be from the side that I'm normally talking about or this side of the fence, Brother really does have the solution for you. And with some of the upcoming products on deck, safety signage. Again, you go into a warehouse environment, manufacturing environment, even a data center, and you're going to have safety signage out there as well. So stay tuned. We've got some exciting stuff coming on the line of safety signage, if you will. So we're at about 10:21. Gene, did you have any closing remarks or crazy comments?
Yeah, I don't know about crazy, but I think your point about, sometimes you never know which solution is the one that a customer needs. I worked with one of Todd's counterparts, Dan, and I thought it was going to be a label printing using one of these printers, the TD4T. And it's a unique application. To tell you, almost all of these are unique because you're the customers and that's what they want. But it's for labeling things on a research vessel. And they're outfitting ships now. And the right solution was one of Todd's products. So that's what we recommended. It's a laminated label and customer loves it. So you never know. And sometimes we cross over and we'll find the right solution for you. So that's it. And in terms of the crazy side, just keep watching this guy. He's entertainment and you learn a lot.
I tell you what, I see it in your future. Maybe a BS with Gene or Gene the labeling machine or something like that.
There you go.
Speaking of, I show this every week, Gene, and you talked about that application on a research vessel. So it's lost a little bit of the water. It hasn't been opened in, I think we're going on a year now with this flag and this cable wrap inside water. So again, it just shows our resiliency, if you would, in the world of labelization. With that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you. Please stay tuned for future episodes because, again, we got T-shirts, we got some great ideas. If you think you have a better idea, which I'm sure you do, reach out to, and we'll show you the information, but reach out to us. We'd love to talk about labeling, and I don't want to run out of subjects. And next episode, watch Todd eat an entire, pizza. I'm sure that would be riveting, but it's really got nothing to do with the business. So, Gene, I thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate it. It was very knowledgeable, if you will. And hopefully, in the next coming months, we'll be able to get together. Gene, we've met in person, haven't we? Or
we have not. I've been here 1 year and haven't gone anywhere.
Man, I'm telling you. One of these days, you will have the pleasure of meeting me. But that's in the near.
Buy me a beer.
Yeah, well, it's just pushing it. Gene, don't give up your day job. We need you. Okay, so I'm looking at some of the comments on here. Hey, Dan. Hey, Sam. And of course, Chuck and all the regulars. I know Ian's on here, and I think Robert's on here from Phoenix. And Gene, that may be a project I may bring you in on, and we'll talk about that later. But we just got a nice little project. And that's the beautiful thing about BS with Todd is that, you know, it gets everybody from the end user side, from the contractor side, from our distribution partners on board. And not only is it educational, and I think that's the key to business. You know, my day job is actually, I'm a salesman. And, you know, it really is all about education. It's not my boyish good looks, and it's not about my vernacular. All right, that's for damn sure. But it really is about education. And that's what myself, Gene, and the rest of the team are here for you guys. Great episode, guys. I'm looking at the text here. Gene, the labeling machine. Craig, yeah, that's mine too. By the way, that's mine. Hot toddy.
You can have it.
What's that? All right. So again, thank you, Gene. Kate, if you could, what do we got? What do you got on tap here? What are you going to throw on the screen? All right, upcoming episode. So March 11th. Can't touch this. Now that's different. So chemical resistancy, and this is going to be pretty cool. And I'm going to use all sorts of chemicals. And we're going to run these things through some chemicals. And we've done the water tests and the scrub tests, but I want to show you some different type of caustic material run through these labels. On the 25th, we're going to talk about UV resistancy. That's right. You may get to see me in my Speedos outside with some labels, huh? Now, wouldn't that be a draw? But we'll come up with something. We'll show you the UV resiliency to the labels. And again, we want to show you every attribute that our labels can withstand here. On April 8th, is our BS with Todd 1 year anniversary. So stay tuned. We do have something special. I can't let the old kitty out of the bag now, but stay tuned for that as well. As far as contacting us, all right, y'all know I hail out of Ramona, California. All right, but we got Mr. Jamie Brookover back east in Virginia. We got Mr. Dan Cobb in cold Wisconsin. Dan's been a guest of mine several times on here. That'll never happen again, but thanks, Dan. So we got Mr. Bruce Page out in Marblemouth. We got Mr. Rob Dawkins, all right, out of North Carolina, and our glorious leader, Mr. Craig Robinson, hails out of Bradenton, Florida. All right, we've also got Gene Hanchar's information on the bottom here. So if you have any questions about desktop labeling like Gene just showed you, if you need a little more information on some of the machines or some of the consumables that go inside these machines, please reach out to myself. Please reach out to Gene. With that being said, oh my gosh, it's 10:27 already. Where is this? Half an hour, 27 minutes gone. But again, thank you very much. Thank you for keeping this show going. It seems to be very popular. I think it's good for everybody involved here. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Oh, again, if you have any ideas, please let us know. But again, I look forward to seeing everybody. Please stay healthy out there, and we'll see you soon. Todd out.